Welcome back to Astrology and the Five Elements with me, Sue Brain, and of course with Maddie King, also known as Maddie. And Maddie is a specialist in energy medicine. And today we're going to be talking about the fire element of the five elements, the Chinese elements. So, Maddie, where do we start with the fire element, the Chinese
The
element?
fire element, the fire, you can start with a laugh. Everyone for a moment, just smile, okay, and have a little titter to yourself because the fire element is about joy, it's about laughter. It's summer. It's summer, and it can also, that's when we're in balance, when fire's in balance. There's so much creativity in there. You might find like the Goldie Hawn and some of the actresses, that performance. Hi, that's fire.
Leo, it's that Leo energy.
But if it's out of balance, you would find a fire goes into, because fires, Sue, can never say no. Oh, that sounds a good idea. Do that, do that, do that. Ooh, all of this energy and vitality. Too much, because they don't say no, puts them into an imbalance, and they can become very withdrawn and very timid and a little bit, I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out. So you have those two extremes. But if you have a fire element in balance, you will find when you're with them, if you've got a fire friend, I have several fire friends, and when I'm with them, I'm a metal and I'm normally a bit, when I'm with my fire friends, and have you got a friend that you just feel warmed by? Suddenly
Yes.
you are smiling. They are probably a fire element, or they have a strong fire element in them. So in balance, they're wonderful companions.
Isn't that interesting? So there, so in astrology, is Aries the pioneering energy, or it's Leo the performing energy, or Sagittarius. I've got Sagittarius rising, which is I just need to go and explore
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just get me out there. Let me at life.
Yes. The other thing, if you think of everyone you know, is there anyone that you could sell ice to an Eskimo? Okay, if you want, they make great salespeople because they become very passionate about whatever they're talking about, and so whatever they believe in, whatever they're passionate about, when they're talking about it, you get convinced. Yeah, yeah. I have a friend of mine, Donna Eden, who's very fire. Okay, she can convince me of anything after a couple of minutes of her talking about a specific thing. And, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. At the very in the moment as well. And when you are with a fire, they may say, oh, let's do this, let's do that. I'll send you this, I'll send you that. And believe me, when they say it, they really, really mean it. But 10 minutes later, after they've left you, they're off on something else. And I often call it lovingly a fire's promise. So if you're in a relationship with a fire, they'll promise you the world, but then they've forgotten it and they're on to the next thing. So you have to keep reminding them.
So they're not. Monogamy isn't the most natural place for them, I imagine.
So you have hit the nail right slap bang on
Yeah.
the head there. No, if you are in a romantic relationship with a fire, you will feel like a queen or a king. It doesn't matter. Because when they throw their light on you, it's like, oh, I'm loved. It's so gorgeous. They're center of attention, the most important person in their life and in that room. And they mean it. They mean it. It's all about heart and love and everything. But they can be a wee bit hedonistic. So, the next day they're off and they find someone else who is really wonderful. They're attached to them. So hard, hard if you like to have a partner that's monogamous. Fun. It's
Yes.
great fun if it doesn't bother you too much.
Yes, and then you can just go off and enjoy it. Well, it's really interesting. It's astrologically because Aries is ruled by Mars, Leo is ruled by the Sun, and Jupiter is and Sagittarius is ruled by expansive Jupiter. So these are big, yes, let's go out there and do whatever we do planets that rule
Mm.
the astrological fire signs. Isn't that interesting? So there is this sense of can do, will do, going to
Will
do.
do, will do. I believe it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Really, really, really is. As I say, they have to be careful though because they can suffer really from exhaustion. You know,
Burn, literal burn,
burnout,
isn't it?
burnout.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that whole analogy of fire, if it's burning warm embers, lovely, or it can be a forest fire. Look how destructive that can be. And they can be very destructive to themselves like that, in the sense of not saying no, not having good enough boundaries, and just getting totally exhausted. And yeah, they are controlled by the water element. Okay.
Yes.
So water element as well is not that good on boundaries. You've got two signs here,
Terrible on boundaries.
and
Have any?
that if you think, what do you get with water and fire? It puts out the water can, if it's too strong, it will put out the fire. So
Yeah.
lots going on for fire elements.
So if you were, how would you know if you had lots of fire?
Well, okay, if you want to know someone's got lots of fire, first of all, look at what they do. It will be something creative, something that, you probably wouldn't fire a fire element as an academic, but you would in the theatre and cinema and stage and teach, certain types of teaching, when we teach, everyone has pulls on that fire element to perform. So it's what they do, it's that sort of thread, the laughter, the joy in life. They're, if a fire element is in balance, their glass is definitely half full, not half empty. So it's that nature. And it's also, if they're in balance, it's contagious. People
Yeah.
want to be with them,
Because they
very
get good fun.
extrovert.
Would you say they were sports people as well?
That's a very, very, very good question. Some could be because they're drawn into sports through their passion, but they
Mm.
would have to be very disciplined. A sports person has to have immense discipline to train and to be focused. So, what I would say is I wouldn't think a primary fire would necessarily be a great sports person unless their passion overrode some of those character traits that they have, like if they had a very strong wood element as a secondary, then they would bring in the discipline.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's the wood that gives the discipline, isn't it?
Wood gives the discipline.
And metal?
Metal as well. Wood really just has the edge on metal because wood is very much, I think we talked about it last time, the ability to take a vision and turn it into reality. It is the tactical, it's the strategic. This is the plan. This is how we're going to do it. Get on and do it. No faff, no waffle.
Yeah.
Do it. Metals are also very good in that sense, but they will take time. Oh, well, let me just think about this now.
Mm.
I'll just form a quango of one and sort of, think about it for a while and research, but then I'll come back to you with a very definite plan. So one is
Yeah.
very yang, active, turn vision
Yeah.
to reality, and metal is much more yin of, yeah, we will do it, but we'll take our time and we'll do it with method.
Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? I mean, and this really brings me to a thing that I've got now, which is about really encouraging people to stop comparing their lives with anyone else's. Because if you're a fire person, you can't compare your life to somebody who is a metal because that's not you. And it's about really bringing out the most positive sides of, or understanding the positive and the negative, isn't it? And living with it. But that's you. You're not a metal. You're a fire. That's different.
Absolutely. I think that one of the best things someone can do is get to know more their astrological traits, but also their five elements. Because if you know both of those, it tells you immediately what your strengths are, what your challenges are. and you go, don't care what anyone else does. You know, this is what
Yeah.
I'm going to do because
Mm.
this is my passion, and I'll be good at that because I am a astrological sign and a five
Yeah.
element sign. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I would also say though, if someone is very energetically balanced, they can actually pull on all five elements, you know, and you can be where you want to be because I know the elements, not me personally, but one might think,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
the elements and I'm going to be a fire here, I'm going to be a metal there, I'm going to be a water there. So, but those people are few and far between, and they really do have a good understanding of their energies and of energies, you know. But the majority of us have this predisposition. So
Yeah.
I'm a metal, so for and also it helps with physical things. So I'm a metal, so lung and large intestine can be my strong points. They can also be my weak points. So I would keep an eye on those, you know. Procrastination, I keep an eye on that, you know. And with fires, what would they're greedy fires. They've got four meridians in the element rather than two. And they're four very, very important meridians which they need to keep balance. One is heart, one
Yeah.
is
Little
small.
finger.
Yes,
Yeah.
little finger. And heart is also about self-love. It's loving the world, loving life, loving you, loving me, loving the self, you know. So you've got everything that's going on with heart and the physical. You've got small intestine, which is also important because it is all about discernment and making wise decisions. And that's why if a fire is out of balance, they make very bad decisions sometimes, you know. So discernment in there with small intestine. And then they have the heart protector, also known pericardium or circulation
Mm.
sex. And that is a really important inner gatekeeper. You know, it is there physically and energetically to protect your inner kingdom, your heart. So, for
Mm.
example, if you have something heartbreaking come into your life, rather energetically, rather than it damaging the heart, there's a buffer. The heart protector will take it. And it really is an inner gatekeeper. It will not allow things in if it thinks that's going to damage the heart. And then you've got the outer gatekeeper, the fourth meridian, which is triple warmer, which is your stress reaction, really. You know, it's your outer gatekeeper. And that
Mm.
is, you know, what you're going to accept and what you're going to repel from your environment, from other people, from the world around you, you know. So you've got four very, very important meridians there. And it's important to keep them all balanced. And
Mm.
there's a really simple thing. If you think you're a fire and you think you're in balance, just go and do something you love, dance or something. You know, that is going to keep you in balance. But if you're a fire element and you think, I think I might be a little bit out of balance here, a very simple thing that gets all four of those meridians is to do this on your wrist. Because
Now.
you have the source points on the wrist. I'm not even going to tell you where they are because it doesn't matter. You're getting them if you think of this energetic bracelet. You can pull it open, pull it up, pull it
Oh my God.
down, do it like this. You can figure of eight all around it. You can move it, do it on both sides. What that does is it will stimulate
Wow.
the source points for each of those four meridians. And source points are the safest and one of the most powerful set of points. There's only one on each meridian because they're self-regulating. So they'll either feed that meridian or calm it down, whatever's needed. The other thing you may do, if you're into aromatherapy or anything like that, you know these little lava bracelets.
Yes.
You can energy test or you can choose whatever flower essence or essential oil you
Mm.
want. Maybe flower essence is nice, it doesn't damage it. And you put a few drops on there so you've got it working on your source points all day.
Do you know, Maddie, I have done this so much in my life without knowing what I was doing.
There you go. And do
Isn't
you
that
know what? The best
interesting?
energy medicine, Sue, are the things we do instinctively.
Isn't that I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you about depression because that's another big thing that I
Yes.
like to talk about and explore, because people are suffering with it so
Mm.
badly these days. With a fire person, I can only imagine if they're out of balance and they can't express themselves, I would imagine that's really challenging for them. Are they prone to depression, or is it more anger?
No, anger sits more in wood. Fire is much more about the joy is extinguished in their life.
Joyless.
It's joyless. I don't care. Whatever. Do you want to come out, Maddie? I don't care. Whatever. No,
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah, yeah.
Mm. And it
It's
gets smaller. Rather than this,
yeah,
it's yeah.
yeah. The
So
collapse.
it is very much that dark pit. It's joyless, therefore I don't, okay.
Do you know, isn't so there is a sort of saying, isn't it, when you sort of feel like you're coming out of something, I've got my fire back. There is that saying, isn't there? And that's what it is. It's about coming back into
Internal fire.
reclaiming fire. I have my, I feel like I got my mojo back,
Got
or
me mojo. Yeah, I was going to say, got me
mojo, isn't
mojo
it?
back.
Isn't that
Yeah,
fascinating?
yes. And if you are watching this and you think, well, that's me for a start, okay. A very simple thing. You can do this, okay? But another thing you can do is if you are depression, it goes very deep, okay? You can just stroke up and down your forearm. I think we've done this before. I've got a deja vu now, okay? And you're getting the triple warmer meridian here and the heart and heart protector here. So your outer and inner gatekeeper and your heart, and you can just say, it is now safe for me to regain joy in my life. It's now safe for me to regain joy in my life. I do so slowly and gently, but I feel that joy coming back. Okay. So what I would say to you is start off with it is now safe. Okay,
Yeah,
because what can happen
yeah,
with fires is like their fire goes out and they think, I'm not lighting that again. Last time I lit that for my fire, I got
yeah,
into trouble.
yeah,
Okay. So,
yeah,
because,
yeah,
and also addiction is a thing with, this habit thing, because triple warmer governs habits. So they can get into the habit of being like this. And you just start doing this, it's now safe. So you're talking like to a fire child. It's okay, it's safe now. You can get a bit of joy back in your life. Take it slowly, slowly does it. And slowly you will come back. I mean, you do it on both sides, and you always start with it is now safe and talk to yourself as if you are that little child. It's
yeah.
now safe for me to feel joy again in my life. My
Mm.
life is filled with a loving joy, a gentle joy. Use that nurturing language.
Yeah. Gosh, having Sagittarius rising, I think I'm probably quite fire, having talked to you. I've always thought I was more air, but this maybe I'm actually more fire. So it's just honestly, it's endlessly fascinating.
It is endlessly fascinating.
Endlessly
Okay.
fascinating.
And it can be very also fascinating, but it can also be very confusing because
Yes.
people study the five elements for entire life. I still think of myself as a five element student, whereas I've studied it for 40 years.
Yeah.
And there's always a nuance upon nuance upon nuance of it.
Mm.
But I would say the more confused you are, possibly not you personally, Sue, but anyone, possibly it means A, you need to know a bit more about it, of course, but it may mean that actually you're quite balanced. Because in a normal life during the day, I'll pull on a good human being, a balanced human being, will pull on a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So think of yourself, how do you react under stress? And that gives you a clearer view on what you may be as your primary element. Because when you're in balance, I'm pulling all five.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
stress
Yeah.
hits, you know.
Yeah. So it's either panic, or people who are stressed either want to run away, they get burnt out, or they panic, or they become fixers, all of that kind of
Yes,
behavior.
and a fire is panic.
Panic. Yeah, that's it. That's
Fire
really
well, there's
interesting.
two things. If you are really quite balanced and a challenge, big challenge comes into your life, say, oh, never mind, it'll be okay tomorrow. There's that with a really imbalance, with a fire that's
Mm,
balanced. But if not, then it's panicked overwhelm. I can't cope with that. I can't cope with that.
yeah, and that's fire. Isn't that interesting? Anything else you'd like to say, Mad, before we finish off?
I would say, Sue, that everyone needs a fire in their life. You all find your fire friend and keep hold of them because it's
Yeah.
infectious, their joyfulness. It's
Yeah.
infectious, their, oh, don't worry, Matty, be okay. Don't
Yes.
worry. Come on. Let's go and have a drink. Let's go have a coffee. Let's do what something, it can give you in a very stressful life, a fire friend can bring you up. And you know, up into joyfulness, up into, oh yeah, I'm sinking a bit into worry. And in return, when your fire friends gets a bit overwhelmed, you can be there bringing up their joy as well. Bit of laughter. We all
Yeah.
need laughter in life, and that's the gift of a fire.
Yeah. And it brings me back to the fact that, Mars rules Aries. This is very fiery planets. The sun rules Leo, and then you've got Jupiter ruling Sagittarius. So these are big, go for it planets. So
Mm.
isn't that it's fascinating, Maddie? This has been fascinating. I think I'm fire. Out of all the things that we've spoken about, this is the one
This
that's
resonates.
resonated. Yeah, resonated for me.
And that's the thing, and also it depends what your secondary. I have a friend of mine, Kim, who is a fire, but she's also got good access to her wood. So she can have all that, fire passion, but she makes things happen at the same time. But fires can get, and I see it in some of my fire friends, um, and I have to be careful of this because I'm a metal. Fire is give it to me quick because I'm having fun. Do. I don't want too much detail, Maddie. Don't want too much detail. And the other thing is actually a really
Impatience, I imagine, is another one. Then,
oh, yes,
yeah,
impatient. Yeah, Maddie, stop waffling. Stop.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah,
fire friend.
yeah,
Stop
yeah,
waffling, Maddie. And if I am teaching with a fire, which is my friend Donna, Eden, and everything,
yeah.
I will have my teaching notes, everything ready 2 weeks beforehand. I will know it. I'll really organized as a little metal, Virgo metal. But my fire friend teachers, they're probably still doing their presentation 3 a.m. the day before. But do you know what? When they teach it, they will be so charismatic, won't matter. It will be a great class and the students will enjoy it.
Now, Maddie, before we started recording, you did say that you're head down now, creating an 18-week online class for next year.
Yeah, yeah. I am indeed. I've given myself the gift of time this summer, and I just thought now I'm well and truly into my 70s, Sue. It was time to gather all this amazing wisdom that has been shared with me into one place for women. I want,
Yeah.
I'm really focused on postmenopausal women, the wisdom of women through the ages, through the different cultures, and to present it in a way that is really practical and really fun. So on the fun bit, I'm going to have to get in my fire element.
So obviously, Maddie and I are going to carry on chatting over the year, but we'll be keeping you up to date with her online classes. And when she's ready, we'll let you all know where to sign up because they're going to be very, very special.
I
So,
certainly enjoy doing them.
so Maddie, thanks so much. Yeah, I feel like I'm ready to meet my fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
vroom,
yeah,
vroom,
yeah,
vroom.
yeah. All right, then, and we'll see each other soon. We're going to be talking about,
The next one will be, so probably we'll do it in September-ish.
yes,
So, and it will be Earth element.
Earth. I shall look for
Oh, lovely Earth.
lovely Earth.
I'm secondary Earth, so I love talking about Earth.
All right, so see you all later. And for everyone, thank you for watching. And if you've really enjoyed this, give it a like and leave us a message. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank
Take
you
care
so
for
much.
now.
Bye bye.